Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to do the unboxing, build test and the review of the Anet E12, so stay tuned. First, I want to point out that I get this printer direct from Anet factory to test it. Now, let's make an unboxing and an overview of everything included in the box. When first open, you will find some accessories on the top. First, there are two sample rolls of PLA filament. They have included a 3M build surface used with heated bed. Under this, you will find the base of the printer, which has been fully pre-assembled. You will also find a big box of accessories. We also have the control box, which is the pin of the printer and the spool holder, and there is also the upper side of the printer frame, and that's everything included in the box. But before we get started with putting all this together, let's see what the accessory box includes. First, we have the USB cable to connect the printer to your PC, zip ties for wire management, fitting tube for the hot end, and cutting tool, and a bag of tools which we will be need for the assembly, screwdriver, spare hot end, there's a removing tool, and two rolls to adjust the height, and last is a micro SD card. Let's take a look at the micro SD card. We will find a video assembly guide, installation guide, troubleshooting guide, slicing software Cura with configuration file. There is some STL files for testing the printer, assembly parts list, and there is a print quality troubleshooting guide which explain how to understand the 3D printing and get better quality from your printer. Let's take a look to the lower part of the printer. We have the pellet tensioner to tie the pellet. I also want to point out that the brackets for the smooth roll are 3D printed, but the good thing is that for all these 3D printed parts there is a STL files on the micro SD card, so you can print them again in a different material. Last, we have these brackets on each side. These are what connect the two parts of the printer together, and they are pre-attached with T-nuts in place, so it should be very straightforward when it comes to alignment and getting the installation. Also, heated bed on E12 are using smooth rod with linear bearings. Let's take a closer look to the top of the printer. We have the X-axis, in this case is using two Z motors to lead the rods to drive the vertical movement of the printer. As you can see, the motors are pointed in the right direction, not like the E10. The extruder motor right above, and in the center we have the hot end already pre-assembled also. Let's take a closer look to the control box and let's check out the internal. I would like to see what's going on inside the control box. So in terms of the wiring, it's definitely not the most well organized, but at least it's hidden inside the box and not outside. It's using mainboard Anet 1.5, which is not upgradable compared to the last generation. Everything else looks pretty standard with LCD screen and also cooling fan pointed at the stepper motors. I hope if we have MOSFET to save the heated bed, but as long as not an expensive upgrade, I will make it later. The power supply output is 25 ampere and 12 volt. First part of the assembly was without any problem. It's very straightforward. We have two screws on the T slot on the side of the printer and one screw on each side of the printer on the bottom, and now connecting the wiring of the printer. It's straightforward because every wiring is labeled. The assembly of the printer just took me around 20 minutes. In fact, the assembly was much easier compared to Anet A8 and A6. And the last piece is the 3M build surface, and it's done. And this is how the printer looks when it's fully assembled. And now let's run some specs. A12 has metal frame made from linear aluminum, wheels with T-slot, build volume is 300 by 300 by 400 mm. It has a dual fan, one for cooling down the hot end and one for cooling down the filament. It uses button setup with metal extruder. The X and the Z cartridge are on roller wheels. It uses dual Z-ax lead screw, which should be more stable than the printer which has only one, but we are going to test that. And the Y-axis are using linear bearings. The control box has a graphic LCD with knob for navigation to the software and the reset button. On the left side of the control box is a switch for voltage, and there is a place for micro SD card for offline printing and USB port. This is how I secure the cable with cable ties to make the connection secure if I move the printer around. And now it's time for test print. My first test print is 20 mm test cube with 0.2 mm layer height. Before this print, I recheck every screw and tighten up the pellet, and I level the heated bed. And the printing now is complete. For the first test print, the cube are looking good, so we can continue. Our next print is 3D Benchy. To test retraction settings, I slice this 3D Benchy with Cura 3.0 at 0.2 layer heights. After it's finished, I am impressed with the print quality. I would say it's almost perfect. And now it's time to print in pause mode to test our Z-axis if we have any wobbling. The quality of these layers are great, really awesome results. There is no separation between the layers, they are looking perfect. Our next model was high details model. I chose this model from my manufacturer website and scaled it up by 50%. I use PLA filament from Hatchbox and I use Simplify 3D to slice this model, and the results are perfect. The details of this model is amazing. I am impressed with the print quality. Our next print is in pause mode but with maximum height 400 mm. And the results are perfect, no separation between the layers. Next print is Linkin Park model, also from my mini factory. The results almost perfect with some imperfection, because while printing I discovered that the extruder skipped some steps. But I fixed the problem by raising the extruder gear up and the problem solved it. Finally, the watchtower from Thingiverse. This is the best thing I have ever printed. It's perfect with amazing details. It prints at 60 mm per second. And I will put the model links in the video description if you want to try it. And the last test is the heating up. The maximum temperature that I could achieve was 92 degrees on the printer without any heat bed isolation material. And now the final word. Well, I think the E12 is a very good printer, especially the solving most of the issues we have facing in E10. I don't have any problems with this printer. I think the E12 has a pretty good potential. The print quality is very good. I think CR10 finally has a competitor with lower price cost and with the same build volume and a very high quality print with dual Z leading screw. I think E12 is a promising printer in the market. Alright guys, this was my review for the Anet E12. If you liked this video, please like and share. Thank you for watching. See you next time.